Nope.
That's not ESPN or
It sounds like Fox.
Whatever you did last time was
No.
definitely NFL
Is
on
that
Fox.
Fox?
that's not NFL.
Yeah, you did
Yeah.
NFL on Fox.
What's that?
I thought
That's
it was
Final Countdown.
Yeah.
It's the final countdown.
That's not NFL.
I thought it was like with the big robot.
Should I go hood up or hood down?
Can you unplug and replug?
We're asking the hard-hitting questions here. Chad, smile.
Duolingo's annoying me.
Are you learning a language?
Yeah.
What?
I'm picking up Japanese again.
Really?
I was trying to pick up Polish before, which obviously makes a little bit more sense. But Polish is fucking hard.
So you just switched to Japanese?
I took 2 years of Japanese in high school.
So you're in kindergarten in Japanese.
I'm at
First
least in
grade.
First grade, yeah.
No
Got
way.
colors and shapes. Yeah.
Did you try? Did you try?
Did you blow on it?
Give it a little bit, you know.
work.
All right, people. Episode 7 of the Coaches Group Chat. Yeah, it's been 7 weeks. We've done this 7 times now. We're here with producer Bob behind the screen, doing his thing. I'm Matt. We've got Arielle rocking a hat today, and we've got Chad the volley dork.
This is so much better than last week.
All
You
I
guys
can
like
hear-
that? You like that intro better?
All I can hear is last week's intro.
We got an important docket today. We coming back from
As opposed to last week when we did not
last
have an
week.
important
Last week was
topic.
no docket, and we were just going off the rails.
We were halfway off the rails most
Oh
of the time.
my goodness.
I thought it was still great.
Oh, I mean, I'm sure the fans loved it.
My mom loved it.
My mom found the podcast actually like a week ago.
We
So
have
now my grandma's heard it.
we have
Shout out Grandma. Grandma Gordon? Is it Grandma Gordon?
Larson.
Grandma Larson in Minnesota?
Mom's mom. Yeah.
We got fans in Minnesota. I love
we
that.
also have very, very young fans on our podcast now.
Yep. We were at SoCal Cup, the Equinox, world's worst tournament name. Sorry, Billy, if you listen to this. We were at SoCal Cup this
Equinox.
weekend.
Equal day and night.
U14 under tournament, and all 3 of us were coaching.
And a 13-year-old came up and was like, I love your podcast. And I was like, whoa, you're a child.
Gotta be careful what we say out here.
Yeah.
But what a weekend. U14s. I mean, I've been doing littles for a while, but you guys have not made a littles return in quite some time. Chad, the last time you coached,
12-2s.
yeah,
Last time
12
I
twos.
coached-
Probably the greatest 12 twos team of all time, though.
You know, we didn't know it at the time, but those kids panned out. They're all good humans and excellent volleyball players.
Let's go down the list, or you probably know it, the list of kids from that team that are going to play in college or are playing in college.
Rowan, right, one of the current liberos on the 18s.
Princeton,
Theron was on that team.
Stanford,
Yeah. Cameron Costi.
UC Irvine,
Yeah. I think those were the 3.
JT Hansen,
Oh, JT Hansen. Yes.
Long Island.
Let's go. Yeah, massive.
Yep.
Well, you know, I kind of exclude him because he abandoned us, but that's
Fair.
We'll give him
that was
half,
his parents' choice.
half points.
JT's a Beta Bay kid.
He is a good guy.
Sorry,
All right.
Wave. JT's ours.
Last time I
We want him
coached
back.
12s was Owen Smith on 12s.
That could
You
have been
coached
any
12s?
of 5
For, like, a
years.
tournament.
That doesn't count.
Oh, you coached for a tournament. Got it.
Yeah.
When's the last time you coached a 14s team during COVID?
Oh, yeah, I did.
Yeah.
The
Yeah, I
team I
did.
currently have.
Okay, yeah, I guess that was the last time I coached 14 unders. It was
Yeah.
Migo, though. He was like 6'7". So
Yeah.
I didn't seem like it was
Still
14.
6 foot.
Yeah,
Seven,
still big,
yeah.
still a big boy.
Yeah.
Yeah. But how did we feel making the return to the younger age groups?
I had 12s. Chad had 13,
13 Premier. Yeah.
And Matt had
14
14
ones.
ones.
It's an interesting dynamic, I feel like, between little kids and old kids. Did you change anything? Well, let's start with Chad. Did you change any of the way that you approach? Obviously, a different setup because you kind of were like, you were a hired gun. It's not like these kids spent all year with you, but coming into a tournament, how you approached it with them?
Yeah, I mean it's not my team, right? So like, you know, Brendan is, you know, kind of flying solo and I'm just kind of here to kind of be the bumpers, like if things are starting to go sideways or something like that. But yeah, I mean, you're trying to help them on some of the easy stuff, or, you know, giving them a serving target or helping them, hey man, like if you want to toss it over here, you should probably like look over there and, you know, go that way or something like that. And then, you know, just giving high fives and trying to keep the bench into it and all that normal stuff. But yeah, it's certainly a different barrel of monkeys might be the appropriate
Different
metaphor.
barrel of monkeys.
Because I forget, like, there's a lot of unregulated passion at those younger age groups. They're loving it, and they're loud, and they're just into it all the time. And it's cool to see them with the highs as well as the lows, right? Like they fluctuate way harder than some of the older kids do. So it's fun to be reminded of what that kind of free spiritedness looks like at that youthful age.
Was that where you were like when you were 13?
I didn't start playing until I was on the 14-2s.
Did you cry?
No.
Did you laugh?
Yeah.
Good. It's good.
The good old days.
Laughter is good. It's healing for the soul. You guys had a good weekend though. Like lost in the finals. That's
yeah.
great.
No, it was I think a really strong showing for that team. I'm not super familiar with how they had done, previously in the year, but yeah, we lost in the finals. It was a good match. And yeah, just I think a good weekend overall. And by the last match, you could see them like legitimately getting better match after match. So like that's cool to see.
Yeah.
In a two-day thing.
I sat with Brendan on the flight home, and so I asked him, I was like, how was having Chad on the bench? He's like, I mean, it's Chad. It was awesome. I loved it. But he's like, the thing that I'm taking away from this weekend, and I told Chad I'm stealing this, was words and names. We just need more words and names out there. And that was the constant Chad thing during the timeouts. Words and names, guys. Like speak, use your voice, call a name, call out who needs to go get the ball, like communicate.
I mean, I think Arielle posted something earlier about yelling about fruits or something like that.
Yeah.
But I just, at that age, like if you can just yell the person's name of who you want to play the next ball, that's 80% of the deal. Like
Very much so.
just directing traffic and, yeah, I mean,
Totally.
it's pretty universal until you get to a level where it's just like automatic. So
Yeah.
Yeah.
And you went with the even littlest of littles, 12-1s,
I was with America's team.
America's team.
Yeah, it was super fun. I just always I don't go into anything with a plan. So
What?
never I never
hot
go,
take.
I mean,
we got a challenge from the producer.
producer Bob saying, cut that real quick. Yin and yang, Bob. Yin and yang.
That's a great
I'm
line.
over planning and she has no plan, so it works great.
So as
No, we
I
love
was
all that. We
saying,
love it.
I
We
don't
love
go into
Hence-
anything with
hence-
a plan.
That's week 6 of the podcast.
Do you want me to talk?
Yes, please continue.
So I don't go into anything with a plan. And then once I get rolling, I'm so excited about how they've never heard anything I've said before, because I have so many like things that I think are great in my back pocket. And it's like I'm getting reminded, oh, if they've never heard me say this spiel about watermelon before, and I'm excited to say it again. And so it was a refreshing weekend, and they're also really good at volleyball. So like
They're super good.
they're super good. So like they already have really good things in place already with what they're doing. But they were all just like super nervous that I was on their bench, and it was just like really cute stuff going on the whole entire weekend. So it was a great weekend. We lost in the finals to MB Surf. And a kid hit me in the face with the ball and then said, "I follow you on Instagram." It was super cute. And yeah, it was just like super fun.
I was at practice. We do a Thursday practice before we left for the tournament, and I told the 12s there that you were going to be the fill-in coach, because their head coach BJ coaches Bellarmine, and so he was out for a tournament, and their other assistant Katie had a girls tournament, so she was going to be there till Sunday. And so I was like, yeah, we're bringing in another coach to help out Coach Mark and be there, and you guys better be ready to go because it's Coach Arielle. And the eyes on these 12-year-olds were like,
Yeah, they
what? And I was like, yeah, you better be ready. Like Arielle's gonna be there,
Yeah.
and she's gonna be helping you guys out all weekend. So number one, you're gonna be on camera all weekend, so you better like do something cool for the
these
camera.
kids brush their hair in the morning.
Oh
for
yeah,
sure.
they were bringing their best hair game.
Yeah.
They were looking proper, that's for sure. But
Yeah.
it was funny to watch them get excited, right? And that's a cool thing about like just having like Chad hop on the bench, right? Like I talked to
James
Powell. James Powell came up to me and was like, "Coach Chad is amazing. Can he stay on our bench forever?" I was like, "No, but like that's awesome
Yeah.
that you got like that you get to have an experience with different coaches. Like that's such a cool part of the club scene is the ability to just get different personalities in there.
I don't even know what I did. I have no idea.
You just were yourself.
I clearly I felt like I didn't do that much, but,
Yeah, but
hey,
they-
cheers.
But they see you at skills practice every week, and so they kind of like look up to you as a they know that
And
you
they
know
go
what you're
to
talking
the
about.
older kids' games, and
Yeah.
they like
And
see,
they listen to the podcast.
and they obviously
Come on
listen to the
now.
podcast. So.
Obviously subscribed. Yeah. No, yeah, that
No,
was just
it's
it was
really good.
really cool to see that dynamic of like just the personalities of you guys, but just personalities in our club in general of how that kind of plays out amongst different age groups of little kids going up throughout the club, right, and moving towards being the older kids.
Yeah.
You had a great thing that you had posted about of that idea of you're not allowed to be sad until you're 18, and I can think about every single 18 season. Like I can vividly remember that last day, pretty much with every 18s
Yeah.
team, and what that looks like, and how much there's a ton of love, there's a ton of tears, happiness,
Mhm.
sadness at the end of a club season, because it's just a big part of a lot of kids' journeys through an interesting time in life.
I think another thing that was really cool for me this weekend, I had, I want to say 4 kids on my 17s team have younger brothers that were in the 14 and under age
Yeah.
groups.
Yeah.
And so I actually had a bunch of parents from my team that were there this weekend too. And it was, I mean, I had Carter Flynn on my team, and I've had Zach on my team for 2 years. And just like having a little kid be like super scared coming into it, being like, oh my gosh, I've heard all these horror stories or all these things that people like that my brother has been telling me. And then like first game, of course, like I'm having some sort of competition on celebrating, and then I'm buying the kid gummy worms afterwards, and he's sending a picture to his brother being like, she bought me gummy worms. Like it was like this like totally different experience than they thought they were going to have, which of course is how every experience is always different than what you think. But it was just like a really fun weekend to
It
do with
is
all of
it is
them.
super interesting because I think one of the things that you kind of hit on is that idea of like we all have our spiels of like things that we
Mhm.
kind of repeat over and over again, and how I was talking to Dustin this weekend about like I always encourage all of our coaches. I challenge them and be like, every single one of you should come coach 12s at some point,
Yeah.
because it's such a different coaching muscle that you have to flex. Your ability to communicate a concept has to be like crystal clear.
Yeah.
It's a real concise moment.
you
You have
get-
their
Very-
attention.
You
Very
get 30
concise.
seconds
Oh,
max.
Not
Yeah.
even.
You get 10 seconds. It's like a tweet.
Totally.
Like you better be able to get what you want to
Yeah.
say out in
Yeah.
140 characters.
You better
That's it.
you better lead it off well. There better be like an image or like a
Yeah.
GIF or something.
Yeah, a gift
Catch- yeah.
portrayed.
Catch-
Just a PowerPoint.
You better
Yeah.
catch that attention because it's going real fast.
No stale, PowerPoint
It's
presentations.
funny. I was editing a bunch of content from this weekend, and I said at the beginning, like, people think that you have to know what you're doing more at the older level, but it might be different. Like, it might be you need to really know what you're doing at the younger level, because like it's so impressionable what's going on at that. Like they are soaking everything up so much, and you have to be very, very specific on what you're telling them. And it's not this just generalized, oh, go out and have fun thing. Like you have to really make an impact because it changes so quickly. So I almost think that it's like put your better people down
It's
lower.
1,000%. If club directors put your best coaches down there,
Yeah.
and club directors go down there. Like that's
Mhm.
why I always say like I love coaching 12s.
Compound interest. I mean,
Exactly. Yeah. I mean, it's
For sure.
you get in with those kids early. You teach them good habits. You show the families what it's like at the highest level, quote, of the club.
Yeah.
And they're having that experience, and they build from there. Then it's easier for the 13s coach and the 14s coach after that. They have all these good things already instilled, and you're
That's
able
why
to just
BJ's
continue
so
to work.
good at that. Is that
BJ's
like,
fantastic. Frank at 13s
Totally.
is incredible.
Yep.
Right? Aaron at 14s. Like those all that back to back, that group. Brendan and John at 13 Premier.
Oh, I mean,
Right.
I don't know how they do it. Those guys are amazing.
Yeah.
Like they have so much patience and are just hammering the fun like all the time.
Yeah.
It's great.
Yeah, you got Colton, who's been in the finals of like every turn.
Yeah.
Colton and Cassie, we got to sit on their bench for a long time.
Yeah.
Like they get their team. They're running their teams like ones teams,
Yeah.
right? Their kids are playing at such a high level. They're super into it. They're super competitive, and they all are enjoying it. Like
Yeah.
that's what you want at your youngest age groups. And then as you bring in new people, you want to start them in like 15s and 16s and see
Yeah.
how they do. And if they do a good job, then you move them back. You
Yeah.
move them lower, because that's where you get the highest return. So yeah, it was super interesting. But that idea of like the things that you kind of play off of, you develop these bits for your coaching style. And at the younger kids age groups, there's some of the things that you use like to keep their attention of, hey, if you can get 10 serves in a row,
Yeah,
or
I'll
you can
buy
get
you
20 serves in a
whatever.
row.
Smoothies, baby.
Yeah.
Let's go.
Well,
Bo
Barron.
Bo Barron comes up to me literally in the middle of the
Well,
tournament.
it was against the team before he played us,
Yeah.
and I watched it.
He walks up to me and goes, "You owe me $150." I was
No.
like, "Why,
Okay,
Bo?"
so what happened was that the kid goes back, and it's 20. It was like he made a bet that if you got past 20, it was like 20-0 or something.
Can I rewind this? Bo called me a year ago before he started coaching for Wave.
Yeah.
And he goes, "Hey, Wave wants me to coach 12s. Can I pick your brain about it? Because I know you've coached a lot of 12s. Like, what are the things that you've done?" And I give him the full rundown. I say, it would be amazing. Like, you would
Do
be
it.
fantastic for it.
Yeah.
Do it. Here's some of the things that I do. And one of the things I told him was the rule of 20. If you can
Yeah.
get a kid who could serve 20 balls in a row, like you just say this at the beginning of the year, if you can serve 20 balls in a row, I will buy everyone on the team smoothies. If you can serve 10 in a row,
Oh, God.
I will buy you a smoothie. So you give these kids this like little incentive, and then all of a sudden, like a kid gets 2 serves, the kids on the bench are like, "He's at 2, he's at 3,"
yeah, they're
so on
so
and so
excited.
forth.
At dawn, we ride.
And
It
sure
was
enough,
24-0. Oh my god. 24-0. The kid misses a serve at 24-0. It was out of control. I was like, this is a problem for you guys. Like 24-0 and he misses a serve. That's some pressure right there.
Yep.
So then he goes and buys them all smoothies, comes back with a receipt, goes $150
Yep.
for that
Yep.
bet
he,
that I
he
made.
DoorDash Jamba Juice.
So I said, you
Oh,
take a
man.
picture of that receipt right now. You send that to Brendan Dean and say, you owe me $150 right now.
Do you want the win or do you want 150
You want
bucks?
the-
Come on.
We
want-
buy wins.
Yeah,
Yeah.
we buy wins.
No, but
So
it
this
was,
is a
it was
PSA
awesome.
for Brendan that you owe Bo Barron $150 right now.
Yeah. But shout out to 12's Bo, just coming in
Bo is killing it.
coming in big over there. But yeah, that was the rundown on the little guys. A good weekend overall. All
So
the teams
fun.
made gold, from 12 1s to 12 2s, all the way up to 14 2s, 14 1s. Everyone was in the gold division.
That 12s final was popping. It was Dustin
yeah.
Watton was hanging out at the 12s final. Brad Keller was hanging
Just
out.
scouting
at the
future talent,
Like,
you know.
It was just like it was just a sighting of everybody. It was great.
Yeah, it was good stuff.
Yep.
All right, I think it's time to maneuver on to the updated rankings.
Bippity boppity boo.
Chad, you can't move either.
Matt's gone. Time for NCAA rankings. Or we could just talk badly about Matt. since he's gone.
He's the worst.
That'd be funny.
All right, where do you want to start?
With Hawaii at number 1.
Yeah, some movement just really in the top 3. Do we?
Four. There.
Yeah, top 4, sure.
Uh-huh.
Do we support Hawaii at number 1?
Honestly, this isn't power rankings, so yeah, sure. Do you?
I think based on, I mean, so
Sparrows going down is tough.
it's huge. Yeah, but
Yeah.
they're not
I haven't
factoring that
done
in.
anything with that yet, but
Yeah.
yes, that's hard.
I mean, for clarity, right? I mean, UH won the Outrigger Classic or whatever invitational,
Mm-hmm.
right? I mean, and beat 3 really strong teams.
Sure.
Close with Irvine, went down to the 5th set.
Yep.
But yeah, I mean, you could split hairs and be like, hey, with Spiros going down, Tread's got a broken finger, should be Long Beach. They've been playing pretty well, but also like Long Beach went 4 and went 5 with Santa Barbara this past weekend. Coaches almost fought each other, players were fighting each other.
Yep.
Like it's a whole thing. So I'm fine with 1-2, and the great news is they play each other twice, Friday and Saturday. So we'll see for sure.
I've got Grand Canyon over UCLA just cause.
And you think they just got docked because they took 2 L's on the weekend? And
Yeah, I just don't think that. I don't think that you deserve to go from number 1 to number 4 just based off of that.
Yeah, I mean, it's probably the Irvine loss that hurts them. But to be fair, Irvine, right, has kind of found their stride a little bit and
Sure.
had a great weekend as well. So
Yep.
yeah, I think, I don't know. I'm not sweating the order of any of these teams at the top.
Not at all.
I mean, I think Hawaii and Long Beach have earned the right to be at the top. UCLA's got some losses. Grand Canyon just coming off a tough weekend.
I can't move Grand Canyon that far just based off of one road trip.
Sure, that's fine.
Um,
Not much movement elsewhere. Yeah, kind of everybody 7 and below. I mean, I guess BYU and Stanford swap spots.
sure,
But
I
everything
don't
else is
know.
pretty
I
similar.
think that the No Easy Buckets one has Stanford as significantly lower than that. I think they're at like 9 there. I would probably put them in the middle of both.
Yeah, I mean, they're in the top 10 somewhere, but
Mhm.
yeah, I mean, where exactly? I don't know how much you're sweating the
I
small
just
details.
like the more that we go through the season, the more I just think that this year in almost every conference, it's just like a cluster of like expand the bracket. Like this is ridiculous that there are
Yeah.
going to be. It's going to be win your conference. You have to win your conference, and then it's going to be an actual toss up.
I
of
would
like who gets in.
I would just love for it to be a clean 16 team bracket of
exactly.
like, because I'm looking at those
Totally.
teams from 16 and up,
Yep.
and I'm like, look, like
Sure, you all deserve to be able to play at the end.
sure. So you're gonna take in a couple teams from some of the newer conferences.
Yep.
That's okay, right?
sure.
Like, you get Damon in there or something like that. Give them a great shot because that's a great team and a
Yep.
great program. And then take the whoever doesn't win their conference, take the other 12
Mhm.
teams to fill out. Boom, 16.
Sure.
And you just go from there.
Yeah,
and
I
there's no like weird double buys into the semis or any, like, it's just,
I think it's a consensus that everybody would be okay with that.
yeah, it's more exposure for all of these teams. Like, if you're worried about winning your conference, right, and you aren't able to do that, then you're trying to like worry about the AQ, and like that automatic qualifier
What is the con of all of this?
costs more money to have more rounds. Is
Yeah,
that
but,
or
like-
both producers agree? Money? Yeah.
It's
weird.
just money.
Money seems to drive a lot of these things. That's what a shocker.
But you've
Breaking
got people
news.
in the sport that would be willing to pay for it. Matt wants to come back in now.
Costs money.
A portion.
Okay,
It's
yes,
the NCAA has to pay for it. So you're
what if
saying
the
fundraise?
Yeah, what if the NCAA got money from certain people to expand the tournament? How much money are we talking?
I mean, I don't have the exact number.
We need to find out what that
I mean, you're
number
talking
is.
about adding one round.
Yeah.
I mean, I get where you what
How
you're
many games is that?
what
You're saying one round, so how many games?
It all does not
I mean-
have to be played at the same place either.
How many days?
I think it should be in the same place though. That's my thing.
Okay, if it should be at 16, a 16-team tournament at the same place.
Why not?
Well, there's a
That
reason. There's
sounds
a reason why the
awesome, but that
NCAA
sounds more
regionalizes at the women's volleyball level. So it just
Split it in half.
it just keeps the cost lower.
East.
But I mean,
and
you're
west.
talking-
So have regionals.
On a travel trip, you're talking right. It's food, it's flights or bus, it's hotel stays, it's referees, it's
Yeah, we
the
have enough
production
money.
of the
we have
television.
enough money in this sport to be able to figure that
So
out.
you're talking maybe, let's be conservative and say 40,000 per match that's being added, right? So we're adding another what?
Really? Is that wrong?
If I'm a Ohio State and I'm hosting, right? You're covering the gym.
Okay, so
There's a
so
cost
if
for
that's the case,
hiring
then
people to
why are
work
we
there.
not going to the 4 schools that would for sure support this?
Because you still need to pay for the flights, the food, the
And so if
all
the
the
NCAA
travel
got
expense that goes with
got
that.
a check from whoever in support of men's volleyball saying, you know what, we want to expand this, why is that not happening? Every single person on this list is on board with that.
Who's cutting that check though, right?
right, and that
I'll
check
figure that out. There's
and
no question.
and if you're the NCAA,
That
you
can
can't
happen.
you can't cut that check for just 1 year, right? Like they're gonna want that for if you expand the bracket,
Mm-hmm.
you can't retract the bracket in 2 years, so you're gonna want that check for a decade, right?
Okay.
You're gonna front it for a decade to show that you're committed to it. If it comes from a
I'm telling you, I think
funding
we have
phrase.
enough. I think that there is enough money in volleyball for us to expand this. Okay, if there's anybody who's watching our podcast who knows more about what it's going to take, like actual numbers on what it's going to take to expand this, send us a message.
I'm sure we could ask anybody on the women's side, right? Because like really, all you're talking about is the round of 16 for the women. Just
Correct.
like, hey, it's in four venues, one weekend, right? You play a round of
Yep.
16, round of 8, and then boom, you have one final site for the 4 teams.
Yep.
And you make it a bigger event, and you do it like the women Thursday, Saturday, or whatever it is,
Yep.
right?
Where do you want it at?
Would you put it the top
Uh,
4 teams?
Regional events?
Yeah.
I would say Penn State, Ohio State.
Same region?
No.
no.
Penn State,
Close,
Ohio
but-
State, or Loyola Chicago. And then maybe 2 California.
This is my red meat of the
Red
episode.
meat.
Yeah, like the protein. It's the protein.
It's the
for
entree
me.
for him, you know.
This is what I like to talk about. Best club resource. So it goes into like, all right, if you're a volleyball club, yes, you run teams, you have coaches, you go to tournaments, you run practice. There's your schedule. But what are the other things that come into it? And there's a number of them, right? Beyond just the coaching, beyond just going to practices and tournaments, what else can a club provide that makes it an even better experience for either parents, players, the coaches, or everyone all together? There are a few that kind of came to mind.
Go ahead.
We're going to go to Chad.
My first thought was YouTube because that's free.
Great.
And you
Okay.
can find all volleyball. And then I was like, okay, if you actually had something like you needed to purchase, right? Volleyball World, like subscription, right? It's like $7 or it's like laughably inexpensive.
Yep.
But you can watch Italian League, you can watch VNL, World Champs, you can watch beach stuff, and it's the highest level in the world. So for me, like I wish Volumetrics would sell their access to that portal and all of the video and let guys, you know, maybe not 100% of it, Giuseppe, but like give us like 10% of it and like let us tab through and like hey man, let me look at Heno only off speed attacking or whatever, right? And you could just tab, next one, tab, be done in 5 minutes, right? And you could see something from the highest level immediately.
How do you get on that?
I will never say.
Okay, next.
I need more friends.
I mean, number one, I love that. And yes, I agree. I think one of the best things we did during COVID was video review. I thought that was fantastic.
I mean, it's really how we were just training with our guys,
Yeah.
right? It was like, look, like we need to pass better. We need to be more creative here. It was just like, okay, like let's just pull up France playing Serbia.
Yeah, let's watch the best do it.
Yeah, let's go watch Ingapeth like hit roundhouses and, you know, two-hand jams and stuff, and it's all right here. It's great. It's so easy, right?
Yeah. So we've been giving that access to that out for free for the past couple of years to everyone in the club.
Am I getting my
You're
1.5%?
1.5% on the $0. Yeah.
Awesome.
Yeah, we've been giving that out for free because it's like you want kids to go watch the best players. We talked about it last week of like our favorite people. And you think back, I was thinking back on it, I was like, wow, like so much of my game was just trying to be Jeepa. Like I was just trying to be that. I was trying to look like that. I was trying to play the same ways, and I was trying to be creative in the same situations that he was using. Like that is such a hack to improve. But I was also thinking something that you said as well was just volumetrics in general. Like I think that's been one of the best club resources we have because it's giving you access to yourself and saving so much time when you can just click like show I'm Matt Houlihan, click Matt Houlihan's name, and I want to see all of my receptions from this match. Boom, 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 boom. And I can see all of them back to back, and it saves so much time. Like I think that's one of the best tech resources that's available for clubs. Like Huddle has some stuff, but it's just a poor version of volumetrics.
Thank God they went out and bought Volumetrics. So
Yeah. But still
pros and cons for the same
but still,
company.
yeah, not quite the same in terms of the two products. Guys like Daniel Rasai and guys like Scott Morris, Scott Morris was our parent liaison, and Daniel Rasai is kind of our director of human performance. I guess would be the
Is
title
that
to
what
use.
his title is?
No, I mean snacks,
No.
Director of
Snacks. Director
Director of snacks.
of Head.
the brain. Yeah,
Director of yes, you heard me right.
yeah. She says director of head.
Director of well-being.
So
yeah, performance.
Coach's well-being.
performance.
Yeah, that's the snacks.
So Scott Morris on the parent liaison side, and there's kind of two-pronged approach. Scott Morris was in charge of just basically going out and making sure parents were good, having conversations. The number of things that Scott Morris would just squash, like small issues, small fires that he would put out just by going and just checking in with parents at tournaments and going and being around was incredible.
Yeah, you just need somebody that's like checking in with people.
Yeah.
That's such an important thing with a club. That somebody that wants to be there is like, I just want to be here because I love all of you guys, and like,
And I want to make the experiences good.
yeah, like I want to check in with people and talk to people, and like, yeah,
And so Scott was the guy who kind of like, he put me onto it of the idea of like the team parents are your number one thing of making this good.
yeah,
Because they are the ones that are actually in charge of your team. They know everything about that team, what issues there are, who needs what, who's thinking about, like who's who's having an issue with the coach or whatever it may be, like whatever thing might come up, they know. So you want to be checking in with them. And so he would constantly just be going around, and he drilled that into me as well. Like, make sure you're checking in with your team parents and that you have a clear and open line of communication with them so that they can always bring something up to you, because they are the real deal. Yeah. Daniel Masai, directly to the kids. And so he talks a lot, like during skills practice with Chad and I and Ryan, like he talked a lot about the mental side of the game, mental health, right? Like how difficult it is for young guys in our world right now growing up, how to deal with these different pressures that are coming along and how to improve as an athlete while also understanding that you aren't going to be perfect. And so he does a lot of just coaching the whole person, which is, everyone says that, the holistic side of things. But Daniel practices what he preaches and is just one of the best communicators when it comes to that side of life. Mm-hmm. That like I would follow Daniel off a cliff, and I hope that
he doesn't take you there.
I hope 10% of our players get something from Daniel as much as I do, because just one of the best resources. But having someone who's specifically kind of in charge of that and is an available resource to players to be able to have a conversation, I think is a really good thing to add to any kind of programming.
I love having somebody who is into sports psych but isn't a technical sports psych in our club. Like, it is the best version of trying to help kids. Like, when you are a sports psych, it can go down a path sometimes that is just too much.
Too clinical?
It's too clinical. It's just too much. But they're people who place value on sports psych. That's the happy medium that I like to be with the mental health side of this. Is like you place a huge value on it, but it's not so far down the path that you can't see anything outside of it. And I think that's what Daniel does so well, is that like this is his passion. This is what he loves. Is that, what are you laughing at?
I just was having a thought of there's not many professions where you want someone who's like just interested in it but is not like a professional. Like I wouldn't want I wouldn't want the guy who's interested in knee surgery but is not a knee surgeon.
You're totally right.
I've been dabbling on the weekends in my garage.
You're totally right.
I think I'm the guy.
I'm very passionate
I don't know
about flying airplanes, but I am not a pilot.
You're totally right. I think that's the best version of a coach, is somebody who is interested in all of these different facets of it, but isn't just so down one side of it that they can't see the other side. That's why coaching is such a broad spectrum of different things. And I think that's what Daniel does so well, is that he values something that a lot of other people don't see that side of it being that important. And also, like, the people that think that is the only thing, it's just too much and it's not enough of the other stuff too.
All right. I think that's a end of episode 7.
Should we do a tequila sipper to go?
Yeah.
Okay, let's talk about the weirdest things that show up on your For You page.
A video
Oh, is this the possum?
of the girl holding the possum just walking.
Oh, so did I.
Oh my god, I got that too.
Wait,
I'm not on TikTok.
have you seen the video of the guy
It
that's
was on
like
Instagram,
talking
too.
about what
I'm
his
barely on
algorithm
Instagram.
looks like?
My algorithm is
No, wait. hold on.
orcas, sharks, and like a volleyball video. I don't know. It's like orca season. They're coming close to shore. I don't know what it is.
You know what season it's not?
Nectarine.
My For
Nectarine.
You.
Fruit.
Young Nigerian kids dancing.
Yeah, it's a great one. Those kids are great.
They're fantastic.
But
They're
really good dancers.
fantastic.
Yeah.
I get like a lot of them.
I watched a video of a guy getting bit by a crocodile on a golf course. So I've gotten probably 20 crocodile videos in the past 2 days.
I'm definitely on one day TikTok right now.
Not at all.
I get that.
Yeah.
I get the yoink guy.
Yoink?
Who's the
Yeah.
yoink guy?
Oh yeah. He's
Tell
like
me more.
he's a Florida Everglades or whatever, and is like looking for like a 20-foot long Burmese python, and he just like yoinks random.
What's
Bird.
yoink?
Define.
Like either like grabs or like just like boops.
He
like-
he
Did
boops
you-
the crocodile.
Did you come up with the word
No,
yoink
no.
there?
I promise
Okay.
you. I promise you.
He
not.
says it.
Yeah.
Oh.
And so like they're
He boops.
spiders, snakes, little frogs, small little crocodiles. I mean, he like
And he's all over your For You page? I'm on girls volleyball TikTok now, and I hate it. It's the worst. Like, because I post girls like volleyball. I'm a girl that posts volleyball things.
week.
Now I'm on girl
Week.
yeah.
There's 52 weeks in the year. Chad, have you ever had any pets? I knew it.
Never?
Not one. Do you have a fish?
No pets.
Lizard.
No siblings.
What do you think no pets means?
It's like, did you like try to like bring a lizard home for a
Did you ever come home from school and we were like, Mom, I want a hamster so bad?
Not really.
Not even a fish.
Ever?
You've never flushed a fish down the drain.
No, I've never had pets.
Any animal?
What the fuck do you think no pets means? No, nothing.
Insects.
We got ants every once in a while.
In the
Come on,
house?
man. Like,
Oh
Do you have any,
my
do you have any
goodness.
friends growing up?
no, honestly, well, life is hard. Why would you twist the knife?
How long have you been building charts for?
Because I don't have any friends.
What were you super into
Yes.
as a child?
That's a good question. What'd you do before you played volleyball?
I mean, I played like all the sports
Were you any
Basically.
good?
What was your second
at
favorite
Harker.
sport?
Yeah, I mean,
So when you were like a little kid, you were in soccer.
yeah, I was playing like more like football and stuff like that.
Football?
Flag.
Well, it's flag. It's like sixth grade.
Yeah,
Like,
and
let's
you
calm
can't
down.
tackle anybody.
Yeah, it's Harker. Again.
Okay,
Come on
so
now.
you...
They
what-
play like
what-
7-man football.
But
these
when you
days.
were like a 5-year-old,
Oh, I don't know. I have no idea.
there's no
Let's
like
go like 9.
What
9,
a
10.
what grade? What grade are we in?
first.
First grade?
Were you into Pokemon?
Yeah, I was into Pokemon. That's a good guess.
'Kay.
Yeah, I love
Play
Pokemon.
basketball?
Play for those teams. I'm in those photos at like Blackford and stuff.
How's your jump shot?
Probably really poor. Wasn't like that into basketball. Like we played like
Did
pickup
you ever
stuff
get in
during.
a fight?
No, it's Harker. What?
Ever?
Matt, did you ever get in a fight?
In high school, yes.
No fights ever for you? College?
He's a lover.
Just like-
Damn.
No fights for Bob either.
No fights for Bob.
We're the same
That
person.
surprises me, actually.
None?
I like to talk a big game and then.
Oh. I wanna know more about Chad at like 10
Yeah.
years old. 9 years
Yeah,
old.
what was like, okay, like for me, I loved playing Warcraft 3 and StarCraft. Like, I loved computer games when I was a kid.
That's weird.
super weird?
Yeah, you're welcome.
That
See?
was your friend.
That was my other thing that I
Not bad.
loved to do.
You didn't
What
like
did you
him?
like to do?
I was playing like a lot of like N64 and stuff like that.
Yeah.
I mean, I think
I mean-
that's when like that stuff came out.
Yep.
Never had a gaming console my entire life.
Really?
No
Whoa.
PS3.
And you guys got on me about no pets.
First one I ever had was we had the Wii,
The Wii.
and then after that nothing, and then the next one I had was
No
my
PS3?
PS4 that I currently own.
I was like
that you
PS2.
use.
I mean,
Nice.
I mean, I had a Game Boy.
Did you have a Game Boy?
I had a Game Boy.
Yeah,
Aha.
that's
What was
a
your
gaming
game? What was your game
console.
on Game Boy?
I was just like
Mario.
I was just a big Mario guy.
Yeah.
Oh, I never played Mario. It was all
Yeah, Super
Pokemon.
Mario.
I never-
Oh, Mario
But I
for
also-
sure.
Yeah, I never-
but I
never
also,
Mario
like,
guy.
am elite at Mario Tennis. Like beat all, and I was a big
Mario Tennis on Game Boy.
Yeah, I was a big Pokemon guy too, though.
Yeah, Pokemon's fun.
No.
You also
I mean,
were really
it
good
was
at ping
huge.
pong. You guys had the
Super
ping pong
Mario.
table.
I will beat you left-handed or
Yeah,
right-handed.
yeah, you crushed ping pong.
I was a big Arctic Thunder on PS3
ooh,
player.
the racing game.
Yes. Snowmobile.